Welcome back to the news at 10. The Anambra State Governor, Willie Obiano, has inaugurated the Skills Acquisition and Empowerment Scheme at the Technology Incubation Center, Nnewi. The first part of the program has 500 youths selected from the 21 local government areas of the state who will be trained in information communication technology, spare parts fabrication and fishery, amongst others. Governor Obiano also commissioned the customary court in Nnewi and announced plans to construct standard high courts in the 3 senatorial zones of the state.
At the Technology Incubation Center, Nnewi North Local Government Area of Anambra State, 500 trainees take the oath of allegiance to the training they will receive in the various fields of endeavor. Governor Obiano, in his address, says the program is in line with his promise to establish a vocational center in each senatorial zone.
For the South, we have this place as a vocational center, and therefore we give it all the resources plus the faculty required to be able to train our youth.
The day is brightened by performances by school children, and Master Onyebuchi Osuma's impressive rendition of the state anthem attracts a scholarship award from the governor.
To view the land of progress, is the series of Anambra.
The manager of the center commends the state governor and enjoins the beneficiaries to take full advantage of the rare opportunity offered them.
The center has remained focused towards achieving its objectives and has also contributed greatly towards the economic and industrial development of Anambra State and its environment. Today we also be remarkable in the lives of our youth, that over 500 of them who are the beneficiaries of His Excellency magnanimity in flagging off this skill acquisition and empowerment program as one of the key players in the Industrial Revolution initiative of this administration.
Done with the empowerment exercise, the governor and his entourage move over to Ogwochi Amechi in Nnewi South Local Government Area for the commissioning of the customary court complex built by the state government. The president of the Customary Court of Appeal in Anambra, Mr. Samuel Okoye, lost the government's efforts at transforming the state's judicial system.
The court building forms part of an infrastructural transformation agenda for the customary courts of Anambra State.
Still in a bid to strengthen the judiciary in the state, contracts for the construction of 14 magistrate courts and 10 standard judges' quarters in the state have also been awarded.
February 6 is set aside each year by the United Nations as a day of zero tolerance to female genital mutilation, also known as female circumcision. The UN first commemorated the day in 2003 and continues to raise awareness with activists and other concerned citizens on the dangers of the practice. Tonight on Focus on Health, our correspondent, Mary Alale Yusuf, takes us through the factors involved in female circumcision.
Those who support the practice call it circumcision, but those who oppose or disagree call it female genital mutilation. Female cutting is described as a non-medical procedure that involves the removal of some or all of the external female genitalia, mostly of girls between infancy and age 15. The CEO and Program Director of Child Health Advocacy Initiative, Mrs. Lola Alonge, says it is connected to cultural ideas of femininity and purity and is employed for restricting the sexual behavior of girls and women.
And that has to do with maybe sealing up or scraping or piercing. And then we have different types. We have the type 1, which we call clitorectomy. We have the type 2, which we call excision. We have the type 3, which we call infibulation. And we also have the type 4, which is like any other sort of cutting of the female genitalia, or at times inserting some substances into the female genitals. We have cases with the infibulation where they actually have to sew up the woman, the lady, and they will just leave a little bit of space for the urine to come out or the blood to come out of our intercourse, and this is terrible and this is painful.
According to the World Health Organization, more than 125 million girls and women have been cut in 29 countries in Africa and in the Middle East, the areas where the culture is prevalent. But some cutting takes place in Europe and America, among those cultures which uphold it in their home states. Ironically, much of this is practiced by health experts in their institutions, which makes one ask, are there any health benefits?
There is none that has been identified. Male circumcision and female circumcision are not the same thing at all. Apart from religious purposes, what the male circumcision entails is removing the foreskin, and it has some health benefits. One is that it reduces the rate of some sexually transmitted infections, it reduces the risk of long-term penile cancer, among other benefits.
Female genital mutilation is considered by international health organizations to be a violation of the rights of girls and women to health, security, and physical integrity.
Excessive bleeding after the procedure, possible infection, which may go on, may be poorly treated, and scarring. So some people may feel pain during intercourse, and the psychological trauma is even more deleterious and can lead to marital disharmony. Some people may not even be able to menstruate, obviously, and the menses are retained.
When they want to deliver their babies as well, it's very painful. Some of them, they have to cut them open again and then sew them back again. It's so inhuman. And obviously this affects them physically, psychologically, socially, and it's not health-wise.
Facts and science have revealed that the practice of female cutting has no health benefits and does not always keep the woman at home. It is now left for custodians of culture to have an orientation change and say no to female circumcision all over the world. Mary Alale Yusuf, Channels Television News.
Well, the federal government has reiterated its promise to make available 9.6 billion naira for the provision of 800,000 fuel-efficient cooking stoves across the country. The Minister of Environment, Mrs. Laurencia Malam, who announced the plan, however, warned that rudimentary cooking poses a great danger to human lives and the environment. She said universal access to clean energy is a stated goal of the United Nations and a key entry point for reducing greenhouse gas emission and other practices known to negatively impact the climate. Our correspondent, Gloria Umezuke, reports.
Reliance on traditional three-stone fires of using biomass for cooking and heating has forced women and children to spend many hours each week collecting wood. In communities like Durumi in Abuja, for instance, women face severe security risk in the collection and burning of woody biomass to cook food. Mordecai Moses is one of those who wishes dearly for a cleaner mode of cooking with less carbon monoxide.
We need something that I should just say as a stuff like this, because this thing that we are seeing that we are cooking with is that's all our women are cooking with it is affecting us. And sometimes you will see somebody, sometimes you just hear that they're sick because of the smoke.
Reliance on biomass for cooking has created a particularly acute situation in many communities in Africa. While the use of biomass for cooking is in itself not a cause for concern, it is the unsustainable harvesting, dirty and inefficient burning of the wood that inhibits social and economic development, harms the environment and takes a significant toll on human health.
This is Durumi community, and we have been moving from place to place observing the mode of cooking here. It is apparent that the locals only know how to do this through the firewood, and this is in spite of several efforts to erase this.
The firewood help them a lot, and it's faster for them, and they are used to, and they always make profit out of the charcoal again.
Latest estimates from the International Institutes for Applied Systems Analysis indicate that in 2005, over 2 million people, mostly women and children, died prematurely owing to air pollution, that is soot and other particles that are emitted when biomass is burned indoors in poorly ventilated environments.
Women cooking with firewood die, millions die annually with their children because of inhalation of the smoke.
The Minister of Environment had earlier announced that 9.2 billion naira has been approved by the Federal Executive Council to procure thousands of clean cook stoves that would be distributed to various communities through the First Ladies.
The Nigerian people were not happy when they had the announcement because for them, Nigerian people have other priorities, unemployment, insecurity, and other vices. But to them, taking 9.2 billion to that sector is a waste of resources.
Nigeria has struggled to respond to the threat of climate change through a series of activities. However, this is deemed grossly inadequate to address the huge challenge that lies in the sector. Even though the federal government has invested in the huge project to deliver 750,000 fuel-efficient stoves and 18,000 wonder bags to several communities across states, there are suggestions that the government should engage in more public-private partnerships and awareness on its importance to ensure a reduction in greenhouse gas emissions and prevent further health hazards for women and children. Gloria Umezuke, Channels Television News.
Hello, welcome to Business News. I'm Anne Nwawadu. Valentine shoppers were up and about shops picking relevant items for the occasion as entrepreneurs record business boom in sales. Despite rising exchange rates, Nigerians who are happy about the election shifts camped for goods and items of clothing to observe the day. Our correspondent Temple Ashaju reports.
St. Valentine's Day is an annual business opportunity for entrepreneurs in Lagos.
Wine candle Valentine.
With the elections rescheduled from February the 14th, traders are recording moderate sales.
I was actually worried for the fact that it was election and it was Valentine, but thank God it's been postponed, so it's a good one. I think we'll have fun.
The sales of Valentine stuff is like is the fire brigade approach. You say last minute everybody is there to I won't be able to go home today if I don't get this.
Not too expensive anyway. It's just a little difference compared to last year's price.
On display at some shops in Lagos Island are attractive gift items and fanciful clothing bright enough to attract buyers.
Up and down, crop top and skirts, crop top and trouser, banded skirts, like maybe red bomb shorts or white bomb shorts with crop top. We sell 7,750.
It's not expensive though. The dollar rate has really gone high, so things are a little bit expensive, but then I think we're coping. We have to buy gifts. It's Valentine.
I couldn't travel this year to get stuff because the exchange rate is mad. You understand? And like I told you earlier, we had loads of leftovers from last year. So I just did a bit of outsourcing from those that went late last year to get Valentine stuff. So we're able to outsource and get a bit of the things we do not have on ground from them to augment this, and we're just good to go.
Most of the gift items at these retail outlets are imported products. The weak naira to dollar exchange rate at 200 naira range has a negative impact on prices. For this reason, personal budgets may have to follow the scale of preference. Temple Ashaju, Channels Television News.
Overnight lending rate hit 95% yesterday from 20% on Thursday after the central bank sold treasury bills to mop up liquidity. On Tuesday, it climbed to a record high of 100% after the central bank sucked up liquidity to support the local currency, which fell through the psychological 200 mark for the first time this week. The central bank sold 115 billion naira of debt in a bid to tighten liquidity in support of the local currency by draining cash and pushing up lending rates. The NNPC also recalled a portion of its deposits with banks, putting further pressure on the liquidity. And it was a bearish week at the Nigerian equities market as key indicators took a record plunge following the postponement of the general elections. The all-share index declined by 8% to end the week at 27,585.26. In the same vein, market capitalization fell 9.20 trillion naira. Market breadth was negative at 53 losers outweighed 11 gainers. Nascon led on the laggards table and is followed by Guarantee Trust Bank and Transcorp. On the other hand, Service, Seplat and Cadbury were the week's top 3 gainers. And at the end of the week, the total volume of 1.95 billion shares worth 27.83 billion naira were exchanged in 19,336 deals. Gold rose 1% on Friday, erasing a week of losses as the dollar dropped a weak than expected U.S. economic data. Spot gold rose a session high of $1,234.60 an ounce and was up 0.5% at $1,228 an ounce. U.S. gold for April delivery edged up $9 at $1,229 an ounce, and the United States was on a national holiday on Monday, while stronger global shares on Friday, lifted by hope of a debt deal in Greece and robust growth figures from Germany, also kept gold's upside in check. Chinese buying remained stable ahead of the Lunar New Year holiday next week. Premiums on the Shanghai Gold Exchange traded unchanged on the day at $3 to $4 an ounce on Friday. Well, that's it on business news. Harriet will be back with the rest of the news at 10.
Thank you. And still ahead of the news at 10, Nigerian strikers Brown Ideye and Yakubu Ayegbeni shoot West Brom and Reading into the English FA Cup quarter-finals. That's on Sports News. Please stay with us.